Hi, welcome to Learning to Live with Your Heart Wide Open. I'm Melody White. We appreciate your presence very much. Our topic this month is from Proverbs 23:7, and it states, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So it led me down to breaking apart this proverb, and it started with understanding what the heart is. The heart is known as the Great Unifier. Because the heart's function is love, it has the ability for us to come together as one and be the Great Unifier. It is known as the Great Integrator for us ability to work together, again, because its function is love. But the heart is the Great Unifier. It is the integrator, allowing us to work together and be as one. It allows us to see past obstruction, not physical, meaning this is a physical obstruction, and see another person's soul. So it's the Great Unifier, the Great Integrator. What the heart holds, I'm sure, are many things, but a couple of things that we're going to talk about here is that the heart holds all past understandings. All knowledge that is accumulated is held in the heart. And it holds the blueprint for this life. And in this life, we come down and we have these three bodies: physical body, energetic body, and spiritual body. We get this physical body because it's our vehicle to experience life. If we were just a being of light, which is what we are when we're a spiritual body, just a little being of light, we can't experience anything. So we get this physical body so that we can experience life. And this physical body requires maintenance. And we maintain it through right foods, right movement and or exercise to keep it healthy. Our energetic body is within our physical body, and both of these things are actually born from the heart as it holds the soul, and it's set up based on what the heart holds, meaning my blueprint that's held in my heart is going to determine my energetic body. And this energetic body there's many energy systems in the body. One of the hub stations or hub centers or main big systems in this energetic body is the chakra system. It has 7 big vortexes, little spinning circles, if you will, of spinning wheels, the little disc, that are constantly recording, processing, transmitting, attracting, or repulsing energies all the time. It determines what we're going to draw into our life or what we're going to keep away from us based on this template. So when one is born, this little chakra system, which is held in the heart, lays up along the Sushumna channel, 3 below and 3 above the heart. And we're sticking with the heart as function, but each of these have their own function. So based on those functions, we're pulling experiences into our life. So that's the purpose of this energetic body, to determine what type of experiences we're going to have. And then these experiences are how we feed the spiritual body. The spiritual body is fed through these experiences. And we can, and sometimes we do, I feel like I did for the first 40 years of my life, was completely unaware of this is what was happening. That I am drawing in experiences that will nourish me if I'm aware of it. And that's the big deal right here, is that how I'm fed is through life experiences. My point of being here is to have life experiences, to expand myself spiritually, to have better understandings of all things. And so when these life experiences are happening to us, for us to be conscious of them and what they are requires a level of awareness. So first we become aware that we are having these life experiences to feed our spiritual body. And then the next step is for us to review these experiences. Daily if you can. That's what a meditative practice is about. It's part of what the yoga practice is. It's the biggest piece of what yoga is about, is us understanding forward movement and progression of our soul, of our spirit to move forward. So we can have a daily review of the experiences we're having and learn from them. So I might have an experience that I've seen repeat multiple times in my life, and that would be like setting up a habitual pattern, something I've done repetitively that I'm drawing to me over and over again because I am making the same choice, and that choice is not the best choice for me. It's not enlightening. It's not moving me forward. So I'm going to keep having that experience until I can see it as I should, make a different choice so that I process that. I see that the choice I've been making that's created an habitual pattern that's not good for me, that's not raising my level of understanding or enlightenment or perpetuating my spirit forward, I can make a different choice. But I can only do that if I'm aware of it. Now, we set up patterns that can be good for us. Like, for instance, we set up patterns for our physical body that's good for us. Get up every day and, move our bodies around. It doesn't have to be in a run or something that we see as standard exercise, but whatever form of movement that might be, that would be a good habit. If I did it 6 hours a day and started to injure my joints, that would be a habitual pattern that's not good for me. And I would see it because my joints got hurt. So usually where we see hurt and pain is in the heart from life experiences. So if we, and those are part of the process of moving forward. So if we are looking at the experiences we're having and make a daily review of them and see what choices we're making, we can see if there's any habitual patterns, they're called samskaras, tendencies that we keep having, and we can determine if these are good things for us, perpetuating us forward, or if they're in the negative and we need to make a different choice. That point of choice is where we begin to expand. The powerful thing about this is that through daily review and or meditation yoga, or just, that can be, meditation can be whatever, it's your daily prayer, whatever that is for you, it's taking time to sit with self so that you see what is happening in your life and you're not just going through the motions. This requires silence, where you don't have the radio on, where you don't have something in your ear all the time, to be able to sit and make that daily review so that you can see how you're moving forward spiritually. So the amazing thing about the daily review is that you begin to see that all experiences, if reviewed and seen as not good or bad, but just experiences, are healthy food for your soul. And that is where your power is. Your power in knowing that your experiences, as sometimes seemingly hard as they are there to enrich you if you review them and use them as a way to move you forward, move you to greater understandings. So what I have found is it usually is the ones that I deemed as more difficult experiences that required me to pause and look at it, evaluate life in the experience I'm having, and take a piece from it and move forward. And in that way, it is healthy food for my soul. And there's a lot of power in that, because then I push less against experience. I quit thinking, oh my God, why is this happening to me? And I understand it's happening to me because I'm drawing things to me to experience so I can get greater understandings. And there's a lot of power in that and right there. So every time I have an experience, I have a chance to review, see what my choices were. If I don't like the outcome of that experience, it will probably come forward again to me and I can choose differently. So looking daily reviews allows us to see what our experiences are bringing to us. I mean, what energetically we're sending out and bringing to us. What choices we're making. If we're repeating something, we're making the same choice over and over and over. And then we can see that and make a different choice there. How awesome it would be to just kind of sit back, accept what is, let life flow through you with greater ease, because you start to understand that these experiences are coming forward for you, to build you and to strengthen this spiritual body. So what a great gift it is to recognize what's happening as food that's nourishing you and strengthening you, being able to accept it, let life flow through you with great ease so that the heart remains unstruck, no discord within it, giving it no reason to close off or shut down. So then you remain with your heart living, with your heart wide open. A couple of ways that you can do a little like checkup or a self-checkup is to note the words that you speak and your actions, because whatever you think in your heart is going to show up there. It's going to show up in your speech and it's going to show up in your actions. So if a person spews forth hate and venom and anger, they're holding that somewhere in their heart. If a person is putting out their words of compassion, actions of kindness, then that's how he's thinking in his heart. So a little self-check, and I always constantly having to check in. Were my words spoken harshly, and where does that come from? So recently I saw on Facebook a friend of mine had written about a letter that her good friend had received in their neighborhood. And it was all derogatory remarks from one person to another. And she was very concerned about this. And the one thing I wrote to her was that the person who wrote the letter, full of hate and anger to the other person, tells way more about them than it does about the person they're talking about. So when we speak ugly words or say hateful things, it says way more about who we are and how we think here in the heart than it does about anything about the object of what we're trying to discuss. So that's a little self-check. If our words are harsh or unkind, this is how we think in our heart. If our actions are harsh or unkind, this is how we are in our heart. Start here. Start clearing that energy out here. Go after our daily review, or go for your daily review. Evaluate where you are. Look at your words and actions for that day. If they weren't what you wanted them to be, make a plan to make a different choice next time. Thank you so much for joining us in this session of Learning to Live with Your Heart Wide Open.